Alright guys, so we have a lot to tackle in today's video as there's just a ton of news from controversial to a possible awesome game coming to Stadia that sees a potential big first-person free-to-play shooter heading to the platform. Also coming from the Epic and Apple trial is this document that holds the Google giant vision for gaming. We also got more of that Fortnite to Stadia stuff, and man, this stuff's a headache. And guys, we also got the Cyberpunk Patch 1.3 that's launched and it features free DLC. If you guys are new here, subscribe as I cover all things Stadia related. Also hit that thumbs up to help the algorithm find us more cloud gamers. So let's start this off with some Stadia news, and some awesome Stadia community members who are always diligent reached out to Splitgate on Twitter, and this is a free-to-play shooter that's described as Halo meets Portal. Now I'm a little familiar with this game because it's actually been around for quite some time, but it recently blew up in popularity to the point where it was just so sudden that the devs were not prepared and didn't even have enough servers for quite some time, and I still think there might be large queues. So this is a huge game, and just scanning the Steam store page, it says 54,000 very positive user reviews, with almost 40,000 of those being very recent. So that tells you how much this game has blown up. And keep in mind guys, majority of people do not actually review the game. So currently the game's in beta and the gameplay for this is fantastic and would suit to be played well in the cloud, especially with Stadia. And well, when asked if this game's coming to Stadia, Splitgate's response, our down the road goal is for Splitgate to be on every viable platform. Everyone knows we're on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, but we're also natively on Linux. This is a big deal because, fun fact, Google Stadia runs their games on Linux. Don't hold your breath yet, but one day. So that last sentence right there says one day, but don't expect it essentially anytime soon. Now this is when Google, in my opinion, should come down with a big bag of money and throw it at their faces, because this game could absolutely make some noise, and it being free to play is something that Stadia continuously needs more games like that. Also, this game's insanely popular, especially at this moment. Either way, it does look like the devs are very open to bringing it, and hopefully we do get to see it sometime here in the near future. So a very curious document has appeared from the Apple and Epic lawsuit here recently. It's 70 pages with at least half of them being redacted, so there's actually a lot that we can't see, and it lays out Google's gaming plan well into 2025, and this is very ambitious, but we kind of have to take a bit of grain of salt with all this, because this document, it says here in this one slide, it says vision as the header, with brought to you by partially funded and I Have a Dream Productions. So honestly, this kind of almost looks like a college student made it, but it's not far-fetched, the things that are in here, because I've skimmed through all 70 pages, and really there's no mention of Stadia, except for like towards the end they show cloud gaming services, but more of a plan for like an ecosystem of gaming that has the intent to reach every single screen that exists, and making of course gaming more accessible, like the best on Android mobile games to PC for example, all the while combining all the gaming Google has pretty much available to anything and everything. There is mentions of the cloud and gaming, like I said, even other services, what Xbox is doing, so almost like a lay of the land of what competitors are doing in their vision. Now I've recently been talking a lot about this, and it's kind of a coincidence. People just don't understand the power Google has when you take a look at the gaming that is done via the Play Store, and the fact that the most gaming media consumption is done through YouTube. Things like Stadia are a part of that ecosystem, and some of these things that this document was talking about was a lot of things between both the YouTube and the gaming portions of it, and really combining those. And guys, that's something that Microsoft can't compete with, Nvidia, PlayStation, nobody really except for Apple. Now this document was almost like the answer to Apple Arcade in many ways, so this was really fascinating, and we don't know if this thing is true due to that one slide, but man, it kind of sits there and really for me puts this whole thing in perspective. And as I keep telling you, man, I have so much positivity for the future of Google Stadia and cloud gaming, especially in Google's court, because they just have so much to contend with that a lot of other companies just don't have. Now this is certainly not new, but I thought I'd go ahead and show you what looks to be, I guess, the private email that talks about the offer of putting Fortnite free on Google Play, and then Epic will put Fortnite on Stadia. Now I've talked about this before. Honestly, this is a ridiculous deal if I've ever seen one, and I would have laughed at this dude's face for offering this. This type of stuff though is why I can tell you guys, don't expect Fortnite on Stadia anytime soon, if ever, if these types of deals are quote unquote what Epic is trying to pull and offer. So if you're hoping for that, I think you guys might have to wait wait just quite a bit longer, but either way, you might never know in this crazy gaming world. Finally, in this video, we have a massive Cyberpunk patch in 1.3 that is live, and it has hit Stadia alongside other platforms. Not sure how many of you still even care about Cyberpunk anymore. I mean, I still do, but it will be including big bug fixes and even, guys, free DLC. Now, the bug fixes are so vast that I took a look at this list, and it's honestly overwhelming, but you can tell they are fixing a ton of missions, UI fixes, and balance changes, and it's astonishing to see a list like this for a game now that's released almost going on a year now. And as for the free DLC, well, this will be taking form in additional cosmetic items, quest options, phone text, and animations, and will be included in the main menu under additional content. Either way, guys, glad to see this, and I tend to forget that this is easily my top 3 most played game on Stadia. It's one of my favorites to play on this platform, so if you guys been waiting for the bug fixes, now would be a good time to get back in there. With that, guys, let me know your thoughts on today's video. Would you guys be excited for Splitgate, the Google game plan that I'm dubbing it, Fortnite, and the Cyberpunk patch? Subscribe if you're new, like the video. As always, I'm Sunny, and I'll see you guys in the clouds.